Okay, and we're back for the second half of this video. Fix the memory issues, which I should have done before I started recording. So that's, kind of amateur hour on my part. I think this is a Goldback card. Okay, so there are 10 of these, and this is Chris Sabo. Now, the Chris Sabo one, really, I don't know if he is actually worth a whole lot. Graded at a Gem Mint 10. I think everybody out there who Wade Boggs. God, I love Wade Boggs. I think anybody who goes through grading process, whether it's comic books, it's cards, it's coins, paper money, whatever your thing is, I think everybody kind of realizes that it's fairly difficult to get, a Gem Mint 10 in cards. It's really tough to get above like a 9.8 for a comic book. Very, very difficult to get above a 9.8. So you can't go into, every submission with the expectation that you're going to get perfect scores or perfect grades on your cards. I certainly don't. I've got about, Bo Jackson, great card. I've got about Roger Clemens, another guy who probably won't make the Hall of Fame, although I heard he might. It's interesting, like being out of the hobby for so long and being out of the realm of baseball in general for almost 10 years now. Learning all this stuff now about some of the controversies with these players has been pretty enlightening. Alan Trammell, Pat Combs, and Chris Sabo. It's interesting when you look back through history and a lot of these players that were being promoted as, at the time, they might have had a good year or two. And then through the course of their careers, they either excelled or they started to wane. I think for me, when it comes to professional sports, there's two big tragedies. One would be Bo Jackson with his hip injury, and the other would be Pat Tillman, and unfortunately his death and the controversy around that. But those are two that really stand out to me. One is an injury, and of course, the other one had a tragic ending. Very tragic ending. Another Lou Whitaker. Kent Howell. Kent Herbeck. Oh, we got another one. We got a Ryan Sandberg. So I'm guessing we've gotten probably 6 or 7 of these in this box now, which is a little bit higher than I thought we were going to get. I thought we might get 4, maybe 5. I don't know how uncommon they actually are, but I think it comes down to grading. So if you can go and buy these online and get them for $2-3 a piece, ungraded, the odds are they were never going to grade at Gem Mint anyway. So even though this is the junk wax era, if there were, let's say there were 500,000 booster boxes printed of this particular set. Of those 500,000 booster boxes, how many are going to contain a Gem Mint 10 of anything? Right? Then that's the real statistic that plays into it. And, I carry that over from Magic the Gathering cards and Pokemon cards and then even comic books, because I have a massive comic book collection, especially graded issues. So I know how hard it is to get really high grades in those. So with these, now that I'm starting to send cards in to get graded, Ozzie Smith, again, fantastic photo. Like, I will say that the action shots they got in this particular year are really nice. And these cards actually, present very well. So I know how hard it is to get really high grades. It doesn't matter what collectible market you're in. But with cards, you can really scrutinize your stuff. There's a lot of things that you can do to minimize wasting money on getting cards graded, especially in such a populated era as this. Hell, for the price of grading 2 cards, you can buy an entirely new booster box, because I think I paid around $20 for this, maybe $25. So, but I am a big fan. The Dawn, back to back the Dawn, really? Okay, that's has anyone else gotten the exact same card in the same pack back to back like that? If I hadn't gotten this on video, I wouldn't have really believed it myself. That's pretty strange. I mean, I'm not complaining. All Don Mattingly cards are worth collecting. I mean, he's a fantastic player. It was just really weird that happened. Robbing you out. So, yeah, that was weird. Back-to-back Don Mattingly's. Yeah, that's probably what, one in a 1,000 packs that would happen. But then again, this has been a pretty good box. So, hey, I'm not going to complain. All right. Brent, don't know you. Craig Wilson. Another Brett Saberhagen. Rick Aguilera. Fred McGriff, the Crime Dog. Lloyd Moisley. Peter Brown. Dave Henderson. Always a Dave Henderson fan. Always enjoyed watching him work. Some players, I think the very first baseball player that I was a fan of was Steve Garvey. He and Ron Say on the Dodgers. I liked watching them play. There was always a lot of anticipation, and I was a little kid. And then he left the Dodgers, and he went to the Padres, and then I watched the Padres for a while. And I think that's where I first saw Tony Gwynn play. I think that's where he started out. So then I became a Tony Gwynn fan. And then eventually, I think 86 or 87 is when Steve Garvey retired. But I kept following Tony Gwynn, and of course, Will the Thrill. Dave Winfield. Some of these guys I would definitely like to go back and buy their rookie cards, even if they were, 7s, 8s, or 9s, just to have them in my PC. Tom Glavine. Mark Grace. Another Chris Sabo. And another Dave Winfield. Okay, so 2 Dave Winfields in this pack, but they weren't positioned back-to-back. So maybe it's not as unusual as I thought. Okay, so we're finishing up stack number 3. So this is going to represent 75% of the box would have been open. So we're going to be down to our last 9 packs here when we finish this. I think this pack does have a gold card in it. We'll find out. Okay. Dude's got a vertical leap. Bill Spears. Jeff Montgomery. Another Ryan Sandberg. So, yeah, we do. Another Doug Drabeck. Slow. So this is definitely, an era of baseball I miss. I wish I could go back and go to a few more games, see these guys, these legends play in their prime or near their prime live, and enjoy the atmosphere of the ballpark. That's one of the things that if you never played baseball, or if you really haven't been to very many live games, is that it's very festive. It's kind of an experience in and of itself. It really does elevate the game quite a bit, because it's very different going to a game than it is sitting at home and watching it. Although, the best seat in the house you're going to have is at home. All right, we got another Will Clark. So this is, I think, the 3rd Will Clark we've got, which gives me really good odds of pulling a Jim Mint 10 when I send them in, because I will scrutinize them quite a bit. All right, Ron Darling. Roberto Kelly, great player. Okay, so here, I know there's a Bonds there, but 2 Roberto Kellys back-to-back in the same pack. Again, how common is this? I don't know. Okay, so we're going to pull the Barry Bonds. Jeff Russell, Ron Darling. Okay, we've already seen the rest of the cards, so let's move on. Okay, so we're well into the last stack here. We've got 5 packs left in this box of 91 Fleer Ultra. So far, it's been pretty good. I don't really remember whether or not I pulled a Ken Griffey Jr. out of this yet. I know I pulled a Bo Jackson. I pulled Kirby Puckett. I've gotten Ryan Sandberg. I've gotten Ricky Henderson. So I think I've gotten pretty much all the cards that I've been looking for. out of this set. Another Ron Darling. The interesting thing, Dwight Gooden. The interesting thing is, with some of these cards is, like, I'm trying to build complete sets, so I'll buy multiple boxes and I'll open them up. But trying to find a box that's in near mint condition is extremely difficult. Most of these are pretty jacked up. So if I'm going to keep any and keep them sealed, I definitely need to look for ones that are from a sealed case, or I need to buy a case myself and crack it. Okay, so Rob Dibble. So not a particularly inspiring pack. Probably one of the weakest. Yeah, I gotta use a knife to cut these things open, man. No way anybody's resealing these things. They're pretty well sealed. I'm trying not to damage any cards because they are, man, these are some strong packages. All right, Bob Green. Okay, so it happened again. I think this is the third player. So I've watched a lot of unboxing videos on other YouTube channels, and I watched one today, and I'm not going to say who it was, but he offered some commentary that I thought was extremely disrespectful, where he referred to the cards that he was getting out of a box as nothing but garbage. And what I try and remember is that every single card represents a life. It represents someone's career. It represents guys who made it to the majors, guys who sacrificed, guys who got up every day, went out on the field. They played as hard as they could. Now, granted, some of them cheated, but everybody who made it to the majors had to work to get there, which is far more than what I can say for myself. Like I played Little League in Babe Ruth, but I knew that I wasn't a very good player, but I was going to make somebody look like an all-star because I was just not I couldn't compete on the level that I wanted to play. So at some point you gotta check yourself and realize that, you know, you're either going to be the all-star or you're going to make somebody look like an all-star. So out of respect for all of these players, I would never say that Jose Canseco, so we got another one. I would never say that somebody in any particular year, any particular set, I would never refer to them as garbage. So, damn. What a great shot. That's incredible. I mean, you got to appreciate cards like that. You got to appreciate the photography. Kevin Reynolds, Nolan Ryan. Nolan Ryan's every set, every pack that has a Nolan Ryan card in it makes it a more valuable pack. He's such an amazing player, or was an amazing player. It's like Cal Ripken Jr., the Iron Man of baseball. And I'm old enough that I remember when the controversy was Robbie Thompson. The controversy existed about him not taking a time off to rest in the season like he would play every game. Tony Gwynn. I think this is the very first Tony Gwynn card that we've gotten in this set. Randy Johnson. I think that's the first one. Will Clark. That's the first one. Darryl. What? This is like an all-star pack. Okay, who's next? I'm curious. Okay, so we had shifted down a little bit, but still a giant. Terry Pendleton. Great player. Andy Hawkins, Brian Smith, Chuck Crum. Where was I? That pack just lost me my train of thought. Okay, so here we are, very last pack of this box of 1991 Fleer Ultra. This has been a lot of fun. I'm glad that I've started doing this because it's something I really enjoy. I don't get a chance to really open up a lot of shipments from CGC these days. Joel Youngblood? Nope, Mark Leonard. Since we know that he's a giant, we're going to put him there. I don't get a chance to open up a whole lot of CGC shipments. So switching gears a little bit, getting back in touch with my fandom as for baseball. This has been really, really fun for me. It's been really interesting. Mike Marshall. Benito Santiago, or definitely remember him, good player. Billy Hatcher, can't forget Billy Hatcher. Jose Uribe. Dan Opperman. All right, so we're coming to the last few. Ken Griffey. Last pack, we get a Ken Griffey card. And I think this is the only one I've gotten. Kevin Mitchell. Okay. I loved watching Kevin Mitchell play. This guy was amazing. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us. But he is one of my favorite Giants players of all time. And the very last card is going to be somebody that I don't even know, but an Expos outfielder. All right. Well, thank you so much for those of you who have stuck with me here to finish watching the video and checking out this this rip of 36 packs. It has been it's been a lot of fun. Definitely really enjoyed it. And getting back into the hobby of collecting baseball cards again and building these sets for my personal collection, because I'm basically starting from zero. I mean, I have a couple of Will Clark rookie cards. I have one graded, I think 87 tops rookie card for Will Clark, but really that's it. Any of the rest of the stuff that I had was just a hodgepodge of things. Now, I did send in some stuff to get graded earlier this month with CSG. And it should be a little while before I get that back. Probably by the end of April, they'll ship that back to me because right now they have a 20-day turnaround period, which is fantastic. But I'm going to close out this video, and I want to see how many of the gold cards we got, because I know that there were a bit. So, one Will Clark, Sandberg, Sabo. Hey, we did get that Barry Bonds. We did get the Ricky Henderson. We got Barry Bonds, Will Clark, a second Barry Bonds, a second Dave Drybeck, another Will Clark. Okay, so for the gold cards, we finished out with 3 Will Clarks, 1 Ryan Sandberg, 2 Doug Drabecks, 1 Chris Sabo, 2 Barry Bonds, and 1 Ricky Henderson. So the gold card we didn't get, which I was really looking forward to getting in this, was the Ken Griffey Jr. And, of course, we didn't get the Bo Jackson either. But we did get some really good cards. So the Ricky Henderson at a PSA 10 typically sells for around $100. Barry Bonds sells for above $90, so between $90 and $100. The Will Clark is around $50, and then the Ryan Sandberg, if it goes all the way to a 10, will go fetch around $75. But again, nothing is guaranteed. It's very, very difficult to get a Gem Mint 10. So anybody who's looking to just cash in on these old sets like this, you got to accept that even pack fresh cards are not going to be a 10, right? They might be pack fresh and minty, but they're not going to grade a 10. There's too many factors that go into it, such as centering, which isn't always going to be a problem on cards. Maybe like if you're looking at this Matt Williams and you're looking at centering, well, there's not a whole lot to measure here for centering because it doesn't have internal borders around the inside of the frames much. So I don't know how they would grade that for centering. So on a lot of these cards, you don't get detailed profile printed on, like surface is this, corners is this, centering is this. I don't know how much of a factor that would be in a set like this. So anyway, thank you so much for taking the time to finish and watching this video. It's dragged on for about 20 minutes, but I just want to say, collect what you love, read what you love, because life is way too short for any of us to waste the time that we have, because we never know when our time is going to be up, and we should take the time daily to enjoy the things in life that bring us the most enjoyment, provided you're not hurting yourself or anybody else. But you guys understand what I mean. And, when it comes to baseball and those golden moments, those golden memories, go back and watch those games. You want to go back and watch, the 88 series, the 89 series, the 90 series, whatever it happens to be. Go back and watch it. have it on in the background while you're sorting cards or enjoying your hobby. But anyway, like, comment, and subscribe if you want to. If you don't, that's cool. Totally get it. But thank you for watching the video. And for anyone who's still here, thanks. I appreciate it. Happy collecting.